I guess we have to just talk about the first thing then, right? We're just rocking out over here. But,
I'm weighing us down too, for the record, because every time I advertise, it lets me advertise the episode, but then it goes like alcohol warning, maybe limited advertising in some areas.
Oh my god!
Every time I
let in alcohol.
No, literally every time I go like this, it must capture the can or something like that. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea how it could capture that. It could be an energy drink that's the same size as energy
Sorry,
drinks.
you two. I mean, some of us.
By
are
the way, I am
drink.
drinking water. It's non-alcoholic. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, it's also I think there might be something to this type of container. Like everybody knows that when you pour something, this is an alcohol container.
Or when we just become like four slurry dudes that it's like, what?
Yeah, maybe the algorithm picks up just slur and just ridiculousness.
Yeah, exactly.
In 1985, Hulk Hogan chose King Kong Bundy to the match where he
just may not appear in all advertising slots.
Is that what you said? Kong King Bundy? Is that what?
Giant of Andre took on Hogan.
Well, I know 6 people that are partaking in drinking with us tonight. Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Lana, Buddy Murphy, Ruby Riott, and Santana Garrett.
They all should be drinking out of celebration.
Cheers to you guys.
That's true. Maybe not Braun, because I think WWE was perfect for someone like Braun.
Well, the rumors I've heard about Braun is that 2 years ago when he was mega over, which I don't remember him being mega over, but whatever. I mean, I don't think anybody. To his defense, nobody's over that big. I mean, nobody moves the needle. Really, nobody does shit.
Someone wants to get these hands. Okay.
I'm not.
But I guess a couple of years ago when he renegotiated his contract, like he makes 7 figures, or he made 7 figures.
It's like $2.5 million or something, right?
Yeah. So that was a problem. So I guess even though they're reporting record profits, like they are still running a business. When you have something that's dragging or not performing, you cut it or reduce it or whatever. These layoffs are not cruel or mean or anything like that. People just are all over it, like online. It's just stupid. It's stupid. Lana should have gone. She sucks. Her best time was when she was Rusev's manager, when she was the Russian. That was her best time. She was amazing. She cut great promos. She was funny on Twitter. She all that stuff. But then when she actually started speaking her regular accent and got in there and started to wrestle, I mean, how long do you have to take to get good? I'm not a pro wrestler, but I'm not pretending to be one.
I mean, I get that. I don't want to skip right into Lana too quick, because I really do want to talk about Braun for a second. I didn't realize he was making that kind of money, so I do.
Yeah, so they say basically what's going to happen is he'll sit out his 90-day no compete, and then he'll be back. They're just going to renegotiate. So that's pretty much. I don't see Braun going anywhere else. I could be totally wrong, but
wasn't there a thing that he shit on the Indies?
Well,
and saying he doesn't go anywhere else.
Anybody who talks about other federations, AEW and things like that, if they're true fans, what they're saying right now is like he does not fit there. It's not even a question.
That's why I said WWE was the perfect place for him.
Well, he's a big cartoon character, so that's what shocked me.
He's a big boy.
If it's a money deal for renegotiation, I totally get it. But based on that theory, then to me, they must be working for like $5 or something. I'm just.
How dare you?
She's gotta be, man.
How dare you? Calm down for a minute.
She's a world champion.
And then everybody else, like Aleister Black, it's odd because 2 weeks ago he attacked Big E, and then all of a sudden, and they were going to repackage him, and they did. But you know what? I'm glad. I'm really glad, because Aleister Black deserves to go somewhere else where he's going to be used, like he was in NXT. Yeah. So Aleister Black deserves to go to AEW or Impact or New Japan or Ring of Honor. I look forward to it, man. Like I do. Wrestling's not in a boom period, but it's still healthy when they go to other promotions. And no matter what I think about AEW or their creative process, it's irrelevant. Right now, Tony Khan is just opening his wallet and throwing it all out there. And to me, I'm like, dude, like get them going, give them other opportunities to have jobs, to learn a different style, to, and they could come back to WWE. Like maybe Braun Strowman leaves for a couple of years and just does Japan and bullshit. I mean, if the guy's making $2 million or whatever, he saved his money. I hope
he can make some money.
Yeah,
I feel like he did. I feel like he did.
If they can't come to an agreement, I could see Braun working in Japan quite frequently, just doing dates and doing,
Dude, he'd be a big attraction.
His entire backstory of shitting on the Indies, if he went around the Indies as like as a big monster heel the whole time, like fucking make tons of money.
I'll show you guys why I was better. That's fucking.
He didn't really shit on them. He just said, instead of asking people for a GoFundMe, do your what you got to do to pay your bills. Like don't. He was saying I was in strongman competition, but it made no money, and I needed to do something to pay my bills, and then I became a wrestler. Because that's what I wanted to do too.
That's so easy to say.
That doesn't make any sense though.
It doesn't make any sense.
Guys, he was bullied.
Well,
He was bullied.
I won't stand for bullying.
Doesn't like bully. He'll put you to the
side. It doesn't make any sense at all, because if Daniel Bryan would stop because he was too small, where Daniel Bryan wouldn't have done anything. Has Daniel Bryan made an impact on the industry? Of course he has. Like, if guys that were
he's
too
been a
small
wrestler since day one.
Yeah, but he also wasn't making any money for a while, is what we're trying to say.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But because his point,
he also didn't ask for a GoFundMe though. He didn't.
Well, there wasn't a GoFundMe around. There wasn't a GoFundMe around back then.
But he wasn't asking for handouts either.
Well, are we comparing guys from the 80s and 90s when something didn't exist and saying?
What's the specific issue? Like, was an indie wrestler asking for
how different
GoFundMe?
is that? How different is a GoFundMe now than guys sitting out there with a table on a wooden table selling their fucking t-shirts? How different is that?
Well, how different? How different
you're
is
selling
that?
your t-shirt, but you're working. What he's saying is don't hand. Like he's saying, I'm not gonna ask for people to hand me money like with a GoFundMe if I'm not working. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to pay my bills.
So if you're Jericho,
but don't you get if you donate? If you donate,
there's nothing wrong with that.
How is that not the same? Like, you can't tell me that Daniel Bryan didn't live rent free somewhere for a while on somebody's couch. Like, that's the same thing.
Yeah, but he's not asking people to hand him money.
It's not.
Is what he's saying. If you want to support them, that's fine.
I think you think that's what he's saying. I don't think Braun ever said that.
Just give me. I'm gonna do this.
No, that's he was just pointing because there was a couple of wrestlers last year.
I'm honestly. So I'm not sure what exactly we're fighting about, but if it's calling out a GoFundMe, I can see. Begging for money on a Patreon or something where you're giving content is completely fine and merch. But if you're literally just saying GoFundMe so I can keep wrestling,
that's basically what he was calling out.
I can understand. And Braun, I guess wasn't shitting.
I guess there are some people doing that.
Just don't like be doing that. Like,
can I just say,
like, do this.
Can I just say, like, don't give him money then? I don't know.
He wasn't even shit on. He was just saying, like, when I was in Strongman, it was making no money, so I had to do what I had to do to pay my bills. I worked, and then I became a wrestler. Like, basically do that. Do something to help yourself.
So in other words, he's pretty much saying that, like, if you're not making it in pro wrestling and you suck, you should just come to realization that you're not meant for this sport and do something else, right? So he was equating that.
Saying, you know what I mean? Something, do what you got to do to make money.
In other words, he was equating himself like he was a strong man, but he realized, like, no matter what he could do in the strongman competition, like, there's even when you're at the top, there's not a lot of good money. So he got into the profession. I mean, I agree with that. I do. If he's telling people, like,
he's not like shitting on anyone. Really.
If you're a shitty indie wrestler, and you've been shitty for a long time, you're not going to make it. So don't beg for money. I get that. I understand that.
That's all he was saying, though, and he wasn't even saying it like in a rude way. It was just like, I did what I had to do. He's like, if you don't have the job right now,
everybody knows, because that whatever the internet says you meant is what you meant. If the internet's right all the time.
Well, that's all I heard was he had a legacy of shitting on indies, and if that's truly the only case that he did, then everything I've read about that whole thing is bullshit.
The only people that were making a shitstorm about it are probably the people that are living in the basements of their parents' house, not working, and they choose not to work, and they expect everything handed to them. So.
Oh, are you attacking me? Don't attack me.
I am attacking you.
Are you taking a shot at me?
You in your little fucking closet. No, just kidding.
Listen, my mother downstairs, I don't pay rent, dude. I make a good living.
I take out the trash.
That's a good business.
I'm upstairs, by the way. I'm upstairs. I'm not in a basement. I'm not in a basement.
Because the page is making fun of him for that.
Craig does have a real job.
They posted his actual his tweet when he said that, and it literally wasn't anything like he wasn't like attacking anyone or anything. He was just saying, I didn't have GoFundMe or whatever. Basically, I couldn't make it, so I needed to do something to pay the bills.
I mean, just to be fair about it, if Braun's making $2.5 million, it definitely needs to be looked at. I get that.
I think what he was trying to say is I started here, and now look where I'm at, and I got off my ass and went and busted my ass to get here.
Okay, no,
those guys should all be paid more.
And for the record, how is living with my mom and dad rent free not a good business decision or a good cost?
Thank you. It is a great decision.
I don't understand.
Well,
some
people do it so they can get by while they're working.
Yeah, you guys are fucking suckers paying $2,000 a month mortgages in California.
No.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people got
it's the
their house
people
by
choosing not to do
anything.
anything. I think the main point is it's the people choosing not to do anything and then still expecting.
Yes,
and
it's one thing to print T-shirts and pitch for T-shirts.
Sell more houses.
Yeah,
it's another just to be like,
I guess if you're gonna pay your dues,
because
if you're going to pay your dues in the industry, just fucking don't bitch, sleep in your car like everybody else did for all these years. Pay your dues. And then if you're good, you'll get noticed. If not, go fucking do something else. I get that.
Yeah, man.
Well, good for you, because you won this one, you sack of shit. That's good.
That's
you worked yourself into a shoot.
Don't shoot with your IWC fucking talking points.
I have a kind of an off topic. I wanted to bring.
By the way,
oh, that piece of shit.
And we can always circle back to this one, but I kind of wanted to talk about. I just saw a brief stint of an interview with Mickie James this week on Insta, and she got a little weepy, you know. And
was she still crying about the back thing?
What was it about? Like, I didn't.
Well, you know, I hate to say it, but it's people like us, they're podcasters, kind of set her up for it. You know, like all those idiots. All I saw for you at this point was just the Hall of Fame, not this bullshit you had to go through for the last 6 months. It was like that. What do you say to that? And she's like, "Fuck, what am I supposed to say?" And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like it was all for nothing, and I do, you know, I get in my head a little bit." And she kind of shed a tear. It was kind of
wait. What do you mean?
So in other words, fans were saying like they were kind of like goading her emotion on, saying like
exactly,
you know, this last run should have led to a Hall of Fame induction, and it didn't lead to it, right?
It led to a shitty release. Right?
I thought she was in the Hall of Fame.
Is she? No, I don't think she is.
Oh my god!
No,
if we don't know this, oh my god, I'm looking it up.
Look up to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would think she is, but I don't think she is.
No, she might not be. Actually, she might not be.
So the fans are right then.
Well, they are right.
Oh, finally they're right.
And I wasn't trying to give her a hard time because she got emotional because. I'm a big Mickie James fan. You guys all know this. I think Mickie is the bomb. She's awesome.
I'm thinking of Trish. I don't know
yeah, Trish is.
My baby's in the Hall of Fame. You shut up.
There you go. Baby. But Mickie, you know, I even with the release and everything else, it seems like an open shut case. She should be in, right?
Well, people of lesser value are in the Hall of Fame. Why
That's
not?
What I said.
Like,
right?
But
Michelle McCool's in the Hall of Fame.
Maybe WWE wasn't looking at it like this is your final run. You know, that could be it too. I think she's still going to go.
And just because you're released doesn't mean you're not going to go into the Hall of Fame
or not come back.
Does anybody disagree that she should go? She's not really active now. Should she go into the Hall next year? Is it this year? Next year? Yeah, next year.
I mean, just for getting rid of Mark Carano or whatever that PR guy in the Total Divas. That guy,
Mickey's a genius.
Yeah, good for her. Like,
got my care package. Thanks WWE. Appreciate it.
That was we talked about it. That's a little like. I mean, yeah, they packed your shit in a bag, but like, come on.
Oh man, that's what Vince thinks of her. You're trash.
You're garbage.
Oh,
no, that's what that guy thought.
Take you out like I did Eric Bischoff.
She's better than half that women's roster. I'll tell you right now.
Oh yeah, she is.
Correct.
No,
she's really good.
You got to combine it. Can you do the character work and can you do the work in the ring? Half of them can't do the character work. And you've seen it. They're very talented, but they can't cut their teeth on a mic. They can't.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to though.
I agree with that too.
You can't blame them.
I agree with that too. I can a little bit.
And you can definitely agree that Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler out there.
Is the best?
It's hard to argue. I just don't like.
No,
her.
I know Dave doesn't agree with that necessarily. I don't know who I would consider.
I don't disagree with you. I just don't like her.
I don't know who I would consider the greatest women's wrestler right now. I don't watch enough Japanese wrestling, women's wrestling, to know if there's someone better over there. But America, I don't know who I would consider the best women's wrestler in the world.
Who's the one that dove off the top of the War Games cage in a trash can? Lo Shira or something?
Charlotte Flair. No, Charlotte Flair.
No,
I don't. Was it Charlotte Flair?
No, it was not.
It's like, I'm the queen, and she's
the one that rides the tank, right? Why do I not know this?
Shotzi Black.
Yeah.
No,
we should not do these episodes anymore.
No, she was. I think she was Japanese. Yeah.
Oh, Shirai.
Oh, you're talking about. Okay. Well, you said right in the tank, so I'm thinking Shotzi Blackheart. That's
it's not. That's hard. Yeah, it's Shirai.
And she's entertaining. I like her. I like.
She's great.
I want to like Ripley. I just don't see the point. Like, she's not. I don't know what she is. Yet. Like,
she's flat already. She's falling flat for me.
It's the mic. I'm telling you, it's the character work. There's just nothing underneath.
Well, they brought her in as a heel. I mean, I think to pick my personal favorite, and I'm sure I'm way off base, it's still Asuka. Like, Asuka's really good.
She's great.
She's really great in there, and she's got to slow down for these younger girls and help them out, and like but she's
plays
also learning
the
from
animated character of WWE very, very well. She does,
So I mean, I guess it's apples and oranges because if they're in the WWE, they're probably toned down anyway. I do like Charlotte. So, I'm stupid right now. Sasha Banks to me is the best wrestler. I don't know why I didn't think of her before.
She's my favorite.
Sasha Banks
is still
my favorite.
She's like Timberlake to me. Like I don't want to like Sasha Banks, but I cannot help it. She is fantastic.
I like Bayley. So I think Bayley's really good.
That's a sign of a great.
Bayley's excellent.
Great wrestler.
And I think even though the gimmick sucks right now, Bliss is probably the best person that can do the whole package, like the mic work, the ring work, everything. And honestly, having to slow down for a lot of people too.
For someone that's been in the business for a year or just a couple of years or whatever, been on Bianca Belair is going to be insane. She's earned it and is still earning her keep. She's fantastic.
That WrestleMania match, speaking of Asuka, we've talked about it. It was absolute fire. We gave that a full thumbs up, worthy of a main event for sure.
I found something out about Asuka today. Do you guys remember the video game Virtua Fighter?
Yeah.
So they re-released the Virtua Fighter 5 on PlayStation Plus.
What? She's in it?
She does all the motion action. The motion acting. Like they used her to do all the action. All the actions in there, so all the fighting motions and everything. Yeah, that's fucking badass.
Somewhere there's video of her with all the little balls.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And also, awesome. Fun fact about Asuka too, like she's like the third most highest paid Japanese athlete.
Awesome. Wow.
It's I think it's like a golfer and then like maybe a Formula 1 driver or something, and then like she's up there.
She deserves it, man. She deserves it.
She makes more than Nakamura, then, right?
She deserves better.
That's true. But apparently they're not really.
Oh wow! You know what? I never thought about that, Dave. How does that weigh in with Shinsuke?
Yeah, I don't know what his pay scale is.
All right, I might have to do Mary's.
Is it Rick Boggs? Is that his name now? Rick Boggs.
What?
The Rick guy Boggs? Who plays Shinsuke out now. It's Rick Boggs, right?
Yeah, it used to be. What do they call him? Metal Hagen Metal or whatever.
I see potential all over that guy.
Oh, and hell yeah, that guy's awesome.
Like, my goodness, like he's in great shape. He's funny as shit. Like.
What,
he's the Old Spice guy too, right?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, is he? I don't know.
Yeah, he has the mask. They do the WWE does WWE themed Old Spice commercials, and he has a mask on, and he's like the mask guy in it. He's funny as shit.
Those commercials.
I don't know why, even though it's not similar. But when he came out, when Baron Corbin's like, "Who the hell are you?" I'm Rick. When he did that whole thing, for some reason, I don't know why, it reminded me of Cena. Kurt Angle. Who the hell are you? I'm John Cena. Obviously not the same thing, but as far as shining at that moment, shining
I don't know if I
like
the name Rick Boggs. Like, why are they? That's such a weird name, Boggs. They're gonna make him play on it, and but it's just.
I have a weird question, and the name eludes me again. I'm sorry because we just kind of wrap here, but the manager of Naya and the tag team.
Oh,
what's his name?
Yeah, I forget his name.
Not Naya Nina.
Rick. No, not Rick.
Rick Astley.
No.
Rick Ashton?
No.
Rick Ashton?
Didn't he just pin one of the women wrestlers or something?
Well, no, Shayna Baszler challenged
Baszler, yeah, that's right. He pinned Baszler.
Because she got pissed at him for ruining their match. But the thing is, I was in Thunderdome before it dies, and I watched the match. And I have to tell you, that guy's impressive. I mean, I know it was against Baszler.
Oh, he moves good in the ring.
It wasn't about what he was doing to her.
Is he a skinny guy?
Movement. He's actually not. He's pretty.
He's a smaller guy.
He's a smaller guy, but he's kind of like, it's kind of, he's buff.
Actually, Dave, I think this is actually going to be fascinating for a lot of people. What is the process for Thunderdome? Like, can you just give like a quick when you get on, right. When you get to see yourself, how you're in or on camera? Anything that is kind of fascinating.
You can literally just email Thunderdome. Like you just there's a site that you go to on Thunderdome and you request to go in, and they
cool. Thanks, man. All right, so
and then they send you a specialized link back saying yeah, you're in Thunderdome. You could get waitlisted. Here's your time to sign up. So click on this link at this time. So there's 7:00 Eastern. 7:15, 7:30 time slots, because they count on people leaving or getting kicked out, so they need people to come in at intervals so you can kind of log in. I've discovered that you can log in earlier than your time, and it still works. So,
are you? They have restrictions on what you can wear.
Yeah. So they send you a nice little sheet of stuff like don't wear anything that's not WWE affiliated. If you have signs, make sure they're supporting your WWE star. If you're not in a well-lit room, we're going to assume you're not there. We're going to kick you out. You must remain clothed. That's kind of important because stuff has happened. Obviously you saw people put posters of Benoit up in place of them, and it's sat there for a while. So if you do something like that, you'll get kicked out. So when you get online, if you're waitlisted, it tells you to click back every 2 minutes. If you're not waitlisted, it'll say, "Hey, you made it. Stand by, and we'll get you on there." And then you have this little silhouette in the corner of your box on the monitor, and you have to stay in that silhouette set. So
okay.
So they can see you on the Thunderdome as you're passing by. And that's how you know you're on, And then the semi-fun part is to see if you can see yourself in center.
So, do you get better placement the more times that you do Thunderdome?
I don't think so because I was.
Don't they move you around?
I was getting really good placements, and you can be moved around depending on what you do. I have noticed if there are good-looking women in the front, they tend to stay there. That's
of course,
pretty obvious as to why.
What?
And my fat bearded ass gets moved to the side pretty quick. So,
get that Dave out of there.
Like last week, I noticed myself. I was on the far left. Interest coming. They don't like beards, even though Strowman has one. That's why he got released. Anyway,
I was going to say
fired.
So I saw myself on the interest ramp coming in, and then they moved me, I think, off camera completely. And sometimes I'm like, I can't see myself.
So, like, what's your? Okay, so you're on a computer or laptop, obviously, right?
I use my tablet actually.
What do you see? Like, what do you see on your?
You see actual Thunderdome. You see. That's what's kind of cool about it. So we're West Coasters, most of us, except for Craig.
So it's just like you're watching Raw on a tablet.
Yeah, but 3 hours earlier.
Cool.
So I can watch it like at 4:00, which is 4:30.
So you can
I can
fall
watch
asleep earlier.
4:30, and then 5 I'm watching Raw. So that's what's also kind of cool about it.
So is Reginald.
Yeah, it would be cool to do SmackDown, but we're always recording during SmackDown.
Yeah.
Fridays. So yeah.
The guy,
it's cool.
That guy, his name's Reginald, by the way.
Reginald, thank you.
I had to look up the Raw roster, and I had to look it up too because I saw, it floating around that they added Brock Lesnar back to the Raw roster.
I think there's going to be big things for him. I hope. I enjoyed his movement in there. I think he'd be really great. Was he an NXT guy? You guys
I don't remember actually seeing him in NXT.
I never saw him. He just kind of came out of nowhere. Looks great though. So hopefully we see more of him.
They did add Brock back to the active Raw roster because he wasn't on any of the rosters. So I do see that right
why.
here.
That's why Strowman got released because they had to pay.
Brock's like, get him out of here.
Brock's like, that's my money.
Get him out of here.
It's like $2 million an appearance. Probably.
So because the podcast of the Masked Man was actually talking about like, well, this is all prepping for a sale kind of thing. Because
I've heard that rumor too. A lot of people. A lot of people are like, Vince is going to sell. Some people are like, dude, you cannot convince me that they're not going to sell.
Okay, so this is what it built off of. Former writer just said, well, if they release someone like Braun, you have to think that they're going to sell. And then this other non-credible website called Slice Wrestling literally has like 900 followers on Facebook. All they did was added on to that. No, for sure. But no credibility there, no sources. All they did was add on their opinion to what that guy said and said it could sell for this, and that. But there was literally no mention of sources from WWE says this is happening. It was just an opinion added on to this former writer's opinion, and everyone started passing that around as facts.
We're giving more
I guess when that
good job,
when that Nick Khan guy took over Triple H's job and Triple H shifted around, that's when the rumors technically started because people are like, why would they bring in another executive to take Triple H's position? He's like the CEO now. So, and that what Triple H was that. So this guy Nick Khan is like a big deal, and like he's like the top guy. He's over Triple H.
The freedom they've given that dude to make these decisions, like
or Triple H is going above. Triple H might be moving up.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. Like people shift all the time. What's the guy from Amazon? What's his name?
I think it's Triple H is completely more talent than Nick Khan is just like business.
Maybe more NXT duties, but why would they be making all these deals with, if they're talking with New Japan, but they also had that deal that they made with MLW. They still have Evolve Wrestling and all those other small promotions under that umbrella.
I can't see Vince ever not letting someone from the family take it, like Triple H and Steph. I really don't believe that.
Even
that's
if he
ever
sold
in the
it to them, if he sold it, maybe he's selling it to them. Like, that's
no, I think, you know what? I honestly think that maybe the kids are... You've got now involved Fox paying $1 billion, NBC paying $1 billion for the app, which is Comcast. You've got all these big conglomerates that they're paying money. Like, might as well just go the extra mile and own the whole fucking thing. And if Vince can get $10 billion for it, and they would still want him and the kids to control and kind of run it or whatever, that's why would you could he would not be able to turn that down.
You put that money in banks, it just makes more money. Like that money never runs out forever.
And then you never know. Like, once a massive corporation, if the deal goes sour in 10 years or 15 years or whatever, there's a clause in the contract where they sell it back to Triple H and Steph. I don't know. Like,
and they don't want Vince to leave. They just, and then that will be a hell of a battle of like control, like having someone
when you think about it,
tell Vince what to do.
Dana White, when he sold UFC, he's still
they
there.
Still have him.
Like he still does everything. So it could just be like one of those things where Zuffa sells UFC to, I don't remember who bought UFC actually. Now I think about it.
More and more, it seems like these big businesses will buy these small businesses and keep the owner on as liaison and just pay them. Like that's almost part of every buyout contract nowadays. They're like, yeah, we want to buy you out. Okay, what are your terms? Well, we're going to give you $6 million for the company.
I don't know.
And we'll keep you on as a liaison and pay you $3,000.
Vince wants to be the god of his world, though, you know.
And on the flip side, exactly right, because like Vince is going to die.
I can't see
he will never give up control to anybody, but at some point, he's always
not going to be. He's not going to be an advisor. There's no way.
He went public, like just make all your generations of dreams come true.
Or these companies are just going to buy more shares, and they're going to own half of it, or more than anyone else that owns shares.
Or also you could see the future, and he sees kind of the decline, and what's next, and what's the thing is you get bigger and better, you die. So
that's a decent question. What kind of controlling interest does the McMahon family have in the actual public?
I'm sure there's terms to like their liking to cash.
There's probably 30. I'm saying there's probably 30%. I bet you it's on a full 50% share though. Someone attempted to buy them.
An interesting exercise. To you guys, I know we know nothing about financials and whatever, but what do you think the WWE is worth? And what do you think that number would be?
All I can tell you at this point for what they're getting, it's severely overinflated. I will tell you that.
If they're getting like $1 billion contracts, like TV contracts, I mean,
I say 6.
I would say between like 5 and 10. I know that's very vague
because UFC sold for like $2 billion, and WWE is bigger than UFC,
and that's probably what they would get. I think that's severely overinflated. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying. Based upon the quality of work and the viewership they get, they shouldn't get that, but that's probably what they would get.
If you think maybe 5 times total income or whatever, gross income, and if they got $2 billion this year from Fox and from Peacock, and that's on like multi-year deals or whatever, but like, I think 10 billion. I think 5 to 10 billion is a pretty good number. I think on the high side,
it's absolutely insane for just
maybe 10 to 15.
And that's the thing.
And a handful of guys that are independent contractors. That's crazy to me.
That's the thing that that Slice Wrestling, because they were just putting in their assumptions. So people, because they added the numbers, that's why it's legit. They're selling because they're like, it's probably going to sell for $2 to $4 billion.
And 2 million is going to make a fucking difference from Braun's fucking.
It's just, I guess that's where you say it's just business, but I always think that's bullshit.
Base contract was $1 million, is what he negotiated. That's what they were saying. His base was $1 million. Downside. Yeah.
Jess, and you say 5 to 10 billion. That's obviously including the library, correct? It's not just the company.
It would be everything. It'd be everything.
It would have to be the library.
It would have to be.
Yeah, that's what's worth a lot.
Even then, I don't think
that's worth a lot. And I don't know, like there's that old adage of when you're doing well as a company, you pinch then, and then when you're not doing well, that's when you spend because nobody else is spending. Conrad Thompson did the same thing for his mortgage business and everything. When everybody else, when the crash hit, he said he spent the most money on advertising when the crash hit because he saved.
Yeah.
So when the crash hit, he was the only one advertising his mortgage company during the crash. Every other mortgage company recessed because sales were down. People were losing their homes. They weren't buying anything. Yeah. So he started spending more. And I've heard that adage before of when you're doing well, that's when you penny pinch. But when you're hurting, that's when you spend because
I know
it's like they're so far ahead. So
right to your point.
I think that's why they cut because they just reported their biggest profitable year. But they need to run their business like they're losing money. And they should do that right now. Cut people that are overinflated for what they're bringing in. I don't think anybody moves the needle, but they have a needle. I don't know what their needle is. It's because it's not ratings. But it's definitely not ratings. And it wasn't attendance. Before the pandemic hit, it wasn't attendance. So
to your point, Jess, like successful AC companies, do you think they advertise in the summer or the winter?
The fucking winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So when they're hurting, they go into the slush.
They're going to get the work given to them. Why spend $1 on advertising when the summer, when all the other big names that are advertising, you'll get a call eventually.
That's what the bad companies do versus the good ones. To your point, it's totally.
You do not blow your wad in advertising on the summer if you're an HC company. That's stupid. Like people are going to come out
sitting on billions in cash, waiting for the market to drop to go in when everyone's afraid. He goes the opposite end. That's exactly right, Vince. Good job.
So right now, Vince is just like, you know what? We're hurting. What? Vince? No, we're not. Listen to me. We're hurting. Cut who you got to cut. Who would you cut? Well, Braun Strowman's super inflated. He's not moving the needle. His quarter hours are the lowest. Okay, he's gone. And I really believe it's like that. I really believe it's like that. And
that's who they should cut.
It's because
I'm telling you, $5 a week.
Because Tamina makes like probably 60 a year grand. Like, I mean, obviously she makes more than that.
I know I joke around, but she has to be making next to nothing for her to continue.
60 and then like lifetime hometown buffet coupons.
Oh my God.
What?
Jesus.
No, I don't know the details of her contract. I don't know. I'm speculating.
But it could.
Who doesn't love? I love hometown buffet. Do you guys love hometown buffet?
Fuck yeah, dude.
I haven't been in a bit. I don't know if I'll ever.
Tamina,
it's been a while though.
I'll
never go to a buffet again ever.
Just go. They're good food. Well, a good buffet.
Until someone sneezes,
like Temecula.
And, we all die again. What? Sorry.
The Chang. Their buffet's really good.
Sneezing on the.
Yeah, they've opened like the hibachi supreme buffet here now, and it's like, wow, I want to go back. If it's like,
see, it calls you back.
Who cares?
I just go to an all-you-can-eat sushi place where they make you what you want.
Even non-pandemic times, like it was questionable to go there.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, like the Vegas buffets, I'm all aboard. I'm fine with that. Yeah, there's a lot of like local hometown buffets we have around here that I'm like even before this, I was like,
it's not the best quality.
Get your own salad bars. No thanks.
Take it easy, man. That's not rice pudding.
Take it easy.
Oh,
yeah. My wife all the time.
Why is some of that rice moving? What? Oh.
My wife constantly says she's like, I don't know why my husband's favorite food is like B and C rated awful Chinese places. It really is.
It's the best. Though.
You know what? You tell
crappiest.
Her, right?
What
you tell her?
I don't care.
Yeah.
If you may have been here and you think that you know better than me, but you don't.
He's fucking passionate.
Well,
she's never gonna. Is she passionate?
Feel my passion.
Yes, I feel.
That's what I yelled to her. I said, "Feel my passion," as I order really shitty rubbery chicken.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I say that too.
Alrighty, are we ready to warm the goddamn episode up or what?
I guess we're ready to wrap up.
Unscripted.
God, we didn't even. There's a lot we didn't get to. We didn't get to Double or Nothing. We didn't get to.
Nobody cares.
Dark Side.
Nobody cares.
Okay.
Nobody cares.
Actually,
I seriously just don't give a shit.
Actually, before we do that, yeah, who watched the Grizzly Smith one?
I did.
I want to. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. How was it, Jess?
It was a really good episode, but he was a terrible, terrible man.
We know he was.
He was born out of love, and I love him.
Yeah. They talked to.
That's from Beyond the Mat.
It was good to hear from Sam Houston and Rock and Robin because you never hear from them, and they are Jake's brothers and sisters. Like
Rock and Robin and Sam Houston are Jake's brother and sister.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
and
shit.
Just the other half sister that Grizzly knocked up some other chick. And she had Joni or Jonah was the other sister. There's another brother, Rick. That's Jake's brother that nobody ever talks about. He didn't want to be in wrestling. He's just a normal guy. So it's crazy. I didn't even know any of that stuff really. And the Jonah girl, she was kidnapped. I don't think she was ever found. I think
they never found her. They think he had something to do with it, right?
They think Grizzly had something to do with it. So it's like it's all, dude. There's no,
madman.
People that try to tell me, people who are druggies, it's their fault. I'm like, if you listen to Jake's story. He didn't have a chance. Like they did not have a chance in that family. That was bad.
You might be getting high if you're
Jake's mom. Jake's mom was 13 or 14 when she gave birth to him, and Grizzly was like in his fucking 30s.
He lays it out and Beyond the Mat, and we kind of laughed at him. He lays out the story when he's like, "How about them bones for Jake the Snake?"
Basically, Grizzly Grizzly raped this young girl, and then she was pregnant and she had nowhere to go, so he kind of housed her for a few years, and basically, and then I think. When she turned 17, Grizzly left her and divorced her and then went back out on the road. And there was people, Baby Doll, who wrestled for NWA. She told a story about when she would go to the territories, Grizzly would pick them all up in a car. And it was just a thing that you didn't speak about. He would always have a stop he had to make on the way. And it would always involve picking up a girl that looked suspect, like 13, 14. And she would just stay on the 3 or 4 day tour with him and stay in his hotel. And he would just cart her around. So when he would pick up all the wrestlers, she'd just be this little girl in the back seat. And like nobody said anything. Nobody just
pedophile, murderer, and rapist. All around evil.
Just rapist, all around evil person. So when people say, "Oh, drug addicts, it's their fault. It's always your choice." Well, technically, sure, that is correct. But if your dad was that, what the fuck would you do, man? Well,
I don't even
around
understand how Jake had the success he had.
I believe Rockin' Robin also said that he touched her as well.
Oh,
and
God.
like for a period of time.
Jake said in Beyond the Mat, it's to shove it up the old man's ass. It's to shove it up like I can do you and I can do it better than you. That's
Jake,
what drove
Jake said
him.
the reason why I got involved. Every time my dad would say you're worthless, you suck.
But I hate
stayed
to
in it.
give Grizzly credit for that, right? Damn it.
Yeah.
And
it was all on a positive note at the end.
Because I haven't seen Dark Side of the Rings so I don't know how powerful and it was, but my only memory is Beyond the Mat when they shot like him and Jake literally just like hammering rocks together in the backyard.
And they did not hammering
rocks.
I don't know why I was thinking the Netflix documentary was showing that, but yeah, that's right. It was.
How did they like that was a stupid setup. It's like I'm just gonna bust rocks with Grizzly, and that's when Grizzly said like I was born out of love and I love him.
Yeah, he was born out of love and he's still loved today.
And we're gonna
just coming up with his cover story. That's all. And then he died, thankfully.
I mean, they're all most of the Dark Side of the Rings are kind of like a downer episodes, because the Von Erich family, Owen passing, and all that stuff. But like this one was just like it's uncomfortable when you talk about that stuff.
Yeah, that's
and it makes me squirm a lot.
Yeah,
the hardest part is how many people got hurt and their lives are wrecked forever, and their hurt probably spread to others, and it's in the cycle of pain.
Oh, and he just passed it down like Jake's daughter in Beyond the Mat.
That's what I'm saying. It's horrifying.
Fuck you, Daddy. A poem, Daddy.
And then also, Baby Doll married Sam Houston, which I never knew. Back when he was younger and he was an active wrestler. And she said on their wedding night, he had 32 Jack and Cokes. That's how damaged he already was. Like, and suffering from like his family and like his dad and all that stuff. 32 Jack and Cokes on their wedding night.
To be fair, I had probably 20 on mine.
Oh my!
I was gonna say I'm gonna break that record.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe I already did. That's terrible.
You what?
And Grizzly's speech at the wedding. Like I guess Grizzly gave a speech and he was like, "Have you got a drink? Born out of love, and I still love him." And he just went back.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah, and then he went.
Is Sam Houston still skinny? Does he look like Sam Houston, but like just
no?
Old
He doesn't
now?
look as bad as you would think, but he does not look like Sam Houston at all. I didn't recognize him. Like I think he dyes his hair black now. He has shoulder length black hair or dark brown.
What?
And a dark black like goatee and like stuff like that. But he does not look. I can't recognize him. He doesn't look bad though. He really doesn't. But he looks older. But like he doesn't look terrible. But Rockin' Robin just looks like she's like a silver fox. Like Rocky, she has short hair, like gray hair. Like she looks good. Like they look so good. Like considering
what happened.
Jake looks the worst.
Yeah.
Have you got a drinking problem?
Yes.
Yes.
I could be dictator mayor. I'm gonna be dictator mayor of this town.
Oh, call me pissing.
Yeah, call me pissing.
We have to do a Beyond the Mat review.
Well, you call me pissing.
Along.
It's
my favorite thing ever.
Well, we got to do
all the
movies.
I'm not booked.
Yeah. No, I don't want to go. I'm not. Even though I'm basically asking you to ask me
to go.
I don't want to go.
To change my ticket.
I'm not going to be there. I don't know. Maybe
it's my last match. Maybe. No, it's not. No,
and then you go home and try to make love to your wife. Ain't no way.
Hey, what is this, chocolate?
Yeah, he's just out of it.
Oh, what the fuck?
And then it cuts to a guy that's like, it was Jake said he would not perform unless we got him crack.
Yeah, unless we got him crack.
Yeah, unless we got him some crack there tonight. He would not show.
All right. Beyond the Mat, fantastic film.
Great fucking movie. Great movie.
It really is. The
reason
why I know it was really good is because everybody that's high up in the indindustry, like all from WWF, said it's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Not real.
Like, no, it's fucking real. That's why you don't want to talk about it. It's fucking real.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of but they didn't blame WWF. They were just focusing on these people. Like when you fall from grace, it's not Vince's fault. You do get old. He uses you and spits you out. What is Vince going to make everybody a commentator, everybody a referee? There's no way. Like. Greg the Hammers and all those guys.
He certainly tries. He tries to find something for everybody.
You always all those guys like Greg Valentine and all them brag about how sold out everything was, and when you were on Hogan's card, I made so much money. So where is it? Is it Vince's responsibility for you to save your money? No, like you drank or pissed it away. It's not his fault.
That's hey, we circle back to the Braun Strowman's point.
Now, Paul Orndorff, I will blame on Vince because that sucks. What happened to Paul Orndorff because he was so scared to talk about his injury. He fucking his arm atrophied.
I feel bad for him on that
story for another day. Paul
oh man,
no way,
ain't no way.
And on that note,
and I guess on that note, I guess we're gonna wrap up another edition of this new show,
Unscripted.
So you're unscripted.
I guess unscripted. So. All right, guys. Well, that was a little O.W.P. Unscripted.
All right, sloppy poo.
And.